In the few weeks since I put together these Steam coverage times, Valve worked to extend the duration of the laptop. The latest updates SteamOS have added several ways to adjust the settings of the deck, with multiple options to limit pure speed in exchange for a long-term charge. Below you can find more information, together with a guide for how quickly the specific games will satisfy the costs of the deck. You can participate directly here. I want to suggest which games I have to test, so this page can be a better source for RPS readers in particular. Do you have a game in mind? Let me know in the comments. It doesn't have to be a Valve-verified game or one of the absolute best games to play on the Steam Deck. Anything compatible just goes to the table. Or you can just skip to the Steam Deck battery life tips. Battery life Steam Deck, games tested. The absolute maximum I got from the Steam Deck battery was 9 hours 17 minutes, while the shortest I've seen was only 1 hour 17 minutes. At most. For this list, I followed more normal terms of use, such as, set screen brightness to 50% but leave Wi-Fi on. You can see the full test settings on the right. I've added a bunch of games to this list since I first posted it, with positive highlights being Counter-Strike, Global Offensive and Rim World, which broke 4 and 5 hours respectively. The Death Stranding director's cut was back on the lower end of the scale, with only enough time for a handful of Kojima spec cutscenes. Again, feel free to suggest games in the comments, as I'll be adding more to this list in the near future. Albion Online 1H 45 meters. Apex Legends 2H 28 meters, Counter-Strike Global Offensive 4H 9 meters, Death's Door 2H 34 meters, Death Stranding Director's Cut 1H 28 meters, Elden Ring 1H 33 meters, Fallout 4 1H 48 meters, Forza Horizon 5 1H 37 meters, God of War 1H 29 meters, Grand Theft Auto V 2H 54 meters, Hades 3H 27 meters, Hitman 3 1H 41 meters, Horizon Zero Dawn 1H 31 meters, Portal 2 4H 3 meters, RimWorld 5H 17 meters, Team Fortress 2 2H 16 meters, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim 1H 44 meters, Total War 3 Kingdoms 2H 9 meters, V Rising 1H 32 meters. How to extend Steam Deck battery life. As quickly as most games drain charge, the Steam Deck is flexible enough to give you a few different options to get the battery juice going further. In fact, almost all of them are in one place, the Performance tab in the Quick Settings menu. To find it, tap the Quick Settings button and select the battery icon. Reducing the brightness can also help. There's a slider for this in Quick Settings too, accessible via the gear icon. Here's what you can try. Reduce screen brightness, a classic battery life trick that dates back as long as there was an adjustable backlight. Lowering the screen brightness can expose you to glare, especially on the 64GB and 256GB Steam Deck models, but it can definitely help. Play a few more minutes. Be sure to turn off dynamic brightness while you're at it to ensure you have full control. Limit frame rate. The bridge has a universal frame rate limiter built right into the bridge. Dropping it from 60 FPS to 30 FPS reduces system load to provide a modest increase in battery life. I capped Forza Horizon 5 at 30 FPS and got 2 hours 3 minutes out of it, which is an extra 26 minutes. Reduce refresh rate. Starting with the SteamOS 3.2 update, you can set the screen refresh rate between 40Hz and 60Hz by default. Lower power consumption reduces power consumption because the display doesn't update its image as often and is perfect for games where you want smoother performance than 30 FPS. But don't need or cannot reach 60 FPS. Setting the refresh rate to 40Hz or 45Hz, essentially capping the frame rate at 40 FPS or 45 FPS respectively, would be a good compromise between 30 FPS efficiency and 60 FPS finesse. Manually set the TDP limit. Requires a bit of trial and error, but can prevent Steam Deck from using more power than necessary. While playing the game, open the Objectives tab and enable the Objectives overlay so you can see your current FPS. Next, enable the TDP limiter, move the slider all the way to the right, and gradually lower it until your FPS starts decreasing. Move it back a notch and the deck's APU draws no more energy than is needed to maintain that level of performance. Set GPU clock speed manually. Similar to the TDP limiter, you can downclock your graphics processor until it's fast enough to provide the performance you need and no more. Again, this is best done on a game-by-game basis, using the FPS counter as a guideline, as some games require a faster GPU than others. Disable wireless connectivity. The deck's settings menu offers a handy toggle for airplane mode, which disables Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, slightly extending battery life. There are also individual switches for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in the same place. so you can, for example, turn off Wi-Fi but still use the wireless headphones. I also tried the deck's built-in AMD FSR upscaling, as displaying games at a lower resolution could reduce system load and therefore power consumption. It didn't help much, though. Fallout 4 with FSR drained the battery in 1 hour and 51 minutes, just 3 minutes more than without. Follow the 5 steps above. There's also a relatively new VRS option in the Performance tab, although this can make textures look less detailed and objects appear overly pixelated. Try to stick with the least unfavorable settings in the list above. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and support my channel.